Hi, and welcome to julietcole.com. I'm Julie, and today I'm going to show you how to draw a mandala. A mandala is a circular geometric design which exhibits radial balance. The word mandala is Sanskrit for circle and is often used to represent wholeness. Mandalas were often designed by monks and used in Hinduism and Buddhism to aid in meditation. Mandala forms have also been used in Christianity in things such as rose windows and the Celtic cross. Mandalas are often found in art and fashion and do not have to have a religious meaning. We're going to need several supplies, so we're going to start with a pencil, a ruler, a compass, a protractor, and a pen. I like to use a Statler pigment liner, a 0.3, but you could also use a Sharpie. So we're going to begin by taking our ruler and measuring from corner to corner on both sides of the paper so we make a big X in the paper. Basically what this is going to do is allow us to find the center of the paper and help us to start drawing our mandala design. You want to draw lightly. I'm drawing a little bit darker than I normally would just so that you can see the lines in the video. You can see I'm very carefully trying to line my ruler up in the corners before I draw my line. And then where that X crosses in the center is the exact center of our design. So now we're going to use our compass to make a few circles. I'm going to start with a 1/2 inch radius, and so I'm going to put the middle point of my compass in the very center of my paper, so right where that X meets. And then I like to turn my paper. You might prefer that rather than trying to turn the compass. So I'll set the compass down, and then I just turn my paper and lightly press with the pencil end, making sure that that metal pointed end stays right in the center of the paper. So now I'm going to continue by making a few more circles, and the next one I'm going to make just a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to kind of make just several different size circles. I like to have 5 or 6 circles throughout the entire design. It gives you, the circles are going to serve as a place where you can kind of contain your drawing as you go. So you want them to be varying spaced apart. So you can see I put several close together and then I kind of made a pretty big circle there. Okay, so now I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to turn it so that one of those lines is just kind of parallel to me. And I'm going to get my protractor and I'm going to put that little hole that's right in the center of the protractor there, right at the center of my paper, and make sure that those lines for measuring the angle are lined up against that line that I have on my paper. And then I'm going to be marking, I'm going to be dividing those quadrants of my paper into thirds. So I'm going to be putting some marks. I'm going to be using the outer set of numbers on my protractor to do this. So I'm just going to put a couple little tick marks. I'm going to put my first one at about 22.5, so right between 22 and 23. The second one's going to go at 45. The third one's going to go at 67.5. Then I've already got a line at 90 degrees. Then I'm going to do 112.5. 135, and then 157 and a half, so right between 157 and 156. So you're just kind of estimating there because there isn't a line for those ones. And then I'm going to take, so you can see my marks, so I'm going to take my paper, I'm going to spin it around, and I'm going to put the very same marks on the other side. So again, you want to kind of make sure that the center is lined up and your lines are along that edge for measuring the angles. We're going to do 22.5, 45, 67.5, 90, 112 and a half, 135, and 157 and a half. Then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to start making lines across the paper where those angles line up with each other. So I like to do the ones that kind of just go opposite of that X to kind of make a plus sign. And then we're going to just go ahead and use our ruler to connect across, being real careful to line up with those tick marks. Don't just randomly draw lines. So now you can see I have all my lines drawn, and basically what I'm making is slices of pie where I can start to draw my design. And because this is a radial design, it kind of repeats through the pie. You can, when you start to draw your design, you can sketch it out in pencil if you want to first, then you're going to kind of repeat through each piece of pie there. And like I said, you can start in pencil, but I typically like to just work in pen. So I'm going to grab my pen I'm going to start by making kind of a petal shape just over one of these lines here in my inside of my first circle. So once my first little petal is done there, you can see that it kind of fits into this little section of pie. So I'm going to repeat it in the next section of pie. So I like to turn my paper. You do whatever feels comfortable for you, but I'm going to turn my paper and then I'm just going to repeat that exact same shape in the next section. I'm going to turn and I'm going to repeat the shape and so on as I go all the way around that first circle. Now I'm going to kind of move into the next outer layer of this design, and again I'm just working in one of these sections of pie, so I'm going to kind of make a slightly different sort of petal shape, and once I get that one done, then I'm just going to rotate my paper and start repeating that little petal shape all the way around the whole design. So basically now what I'm doing is just continuing to work outwards. So now I'm just going to add a few little circles kind of in between each of those petals. Then I'm going to kind of draw around them. And then I'm just extending out from the center of the design, continuing to add interesting shapes, teardrop shapes, really anything. There's no right or wrong way. And then I'm going to kind of do some big petals. And I just kind of go back and forth and just keep continuing around the design. Now that I've got the whole main shape of my design done, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to be adding in some details. So I'm just putting some lines in some of these petal shapes just to add a little bit more visual interest to the piece. It was kind of boring beforehand, so I'm just adding some lines in. Now that I've basically got it done, I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of erase all of my pencil lines. After I get everything erased, I like to look back over my design and see if there's any places where maybe I think it needs something. So I kind of, there's an empty space sort of where that circle was, that pencil circle. So I'm going to go ahead and redraw that circle in with my pen just to kind of bring that shape out a little bit more. And then I just kind of like to look it over and just see if there's anything that needs fixing, any lines that need to be connected or they weren't quite connected when I erased. And then I'll finish up by going through and erasing any leftover stray pencil marks. So the final step is going to be to color this design. I'm going to use colored pencils. You could use markers or whatever you are comfortable with. You can see my final design on juliedcole.com. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you next time.